This is me. And these are my kids. And this is our life. And this is our TikTok. Well, technically it's my TikTok, but you'll see the kids here. You get the gist. Tell me this is not the most adorable glass little teapot you have ever seen. I ordered this off of Amazon. They have a huge variety. They've got even cuter ones, but they were more expensive. And I just wanted something that was going to be fun size for me because I'm primarily the only person who drinks tea. I didn't want it to take up too much cabinet space also. It also came with these little tiny teacups, which I'm not completely obsessed with because they're so little, but it gets the job done. I really do think it's adorable and cute, and I do actually love it. I want to say I use it maybe like every other day, if not every day, twice a day, just because the amount that it holds when you make tea, it's not a lot. As usual, I am making breakfast. Lately, when I've been having tea, I'm not even adding sugar to it anymore because my diet affects just how active Jax is so much that I began starting to try to cut back sugar. I didn't say that it was successful, but I did begin to start trying to cut back sugar in this footage and in the upcoming weeks because he would respond to it and he'd be so overactive that I just knew. I'm like, this is the sugar. Because I pay close attention to how he moves and how often he moves and when he moves and what he responds to. And I knew sugar definitely put him on a sugar high. So in my tea, plus because it's early in the morning too, but in my tea, I just do a drizzle of honey, lemon, maybe some ginger, and that's actually it. I don't drink tea really for the taste, I drink it for the benefits. For breakfast, I made turkey sausage, eggs, apple slices for the boys, and half a banana, and then I put some caramel drizzle over top of the apple slices. And then I used some flax seeds on top of it just to get some fiber in there. And the boys never mind it. They do know it's there. They notice it. They point it out. Like Josh was coming to me and he's like, I can't eat this. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because there's like dirt on top of it. And I'm like, you won't even taste it, just eat it. And it's not dirt. But any opportunity that I can just dump some extra healthy stuff into their diet, I'm gonna take that road. When the boys were younger, I tried to be less conspicuous, but now that they're older, I'm just like, look, eat it because I said so. Taste it before you tell me you don't even like it, type of situation now. And 9 times out of 10, it's really about the visual. I think that's why I care so much about the visual when I plate, because children tend to look at the plate and get overwhelmed, or if they've never seen it that way, they don't want to try it, or they're suddenly not hungry. So I do love good visual. I do love good plating, but I think the kids also do too, because they're so easily turned off when it comes to how it's plated, how much is on there, and what it looks like. I do see where it comes from. I already shared with you guys about my juice ice cubes. I think this is like pineapple orange juice. So that's what the boys are going to be getting to drink today. I had to add my water, and of course I had to add my lemon too. For my breakfast, I had to have a little bit of yogurt because I had been craving yogurt the entire second trimester. I had avocado, I had turkey sausage, and I did have myself some sunny side up eggs. I wanted them to be over easy, but I was multitasking and I stopped paying attention and they cooked all the way through. But I do love over easy eggs. I am so glad that I really implemented laundry folding into the boys' chores. It gets done so much quicker when you give them their own stuff to fold. Like I said before, 75% of the laundry is their clothes. So why shouldn't they be folding them? It is really, really cutting down on the amount of time that I have to spend folding up the laundry. So I just fold my stuff, they fold their stuff, we split all the linens together. But it gets the job done and it's working out really, really good. As many of you guys know, my eldest son Jaden does have autism. I remember this weekend very, very clearly. And long story short, Jaden was reprimanded for something that he did that was inappropriate. And when I brought it to the table for discussion to talk to him about it, he had a lot of overwhelming emotions and he did not handle it well at all. So he decided to punish me by eloping. And I know that a lot of people have only heard of elopement when you think of, it's more commonly used in situations such as, like, I don't know, leaving somebody at the altar. But when you have someone that's on the spectrum or has a developmental delay, if they run off, and if they run off, that's considered elopement. That's the way that elopement is utilized in, I guess, like the non-neurotypical world for people that are on the spectrum or, like I said, have a developmental delay. This day was scary, and it was like one of many to come in the future. And Jaden was only 14 at the time. He was only 14. He's 15 now, but at the time that he did this, he was only 14. It resulted in me having to call the cops. They came over. I showed them the security footage, what he was last wearing, gave him his height, age, and all that stuff. And they had to put out an Amber Alert and send out bloodhounds and begin a search party for Jaden. One thing that I've always done is I separate my child as an individual from the actual diagnosis, autism. I do not disregard that he has autism, but I separate him from the diagnosis, and I'm able to because I know what things that he does that are autistic and the things that he does because he is a 15-year-old boy. In the footage, he was 14, but I know my child outside of his diagnosis. This was not related to his autism at all. His ability to understand and process what he was being reprimanded about was a struggle for him, but the behavior, the response to that was very calculated. He knew exactly what he was up to and what he was doing. So I want to say maybe 2 hours later, they were able to track him down. He was brought back home, and I offered him PRN medication that we have on hand for emergencies like this, and he refused them. And then he said some very interesting things to the police that were really just to manipulate the situation because he knew what he did was wrong and he knew he was in trouble. And that behavior in front of authorities resulted in us having to go to crisis. So we had to go to crisis. He had to be evaluated. We needed clearance just to leave from there. And the good news is by the time that we actually got to crisis, he was past the crisis phase. That was the good news. The bad news is it was behavioral, so there was nothing to treat. Like, there was nothing that they could do. There's nothing to treat him with. They weren't going to admit him. That episode was actually just the beginning of at least 6 or 7 more following it.
Early on, you and Jaden came in. Sounds like you were seen by Christina, the social worker, at one point. I know Dr. Angelo, the previous emergency room doctor, also saw Jaden as well, and expressed kind of her concerns, right? Mm-hmm. So ultimately, I think she just wanted you and Jaden to chat with a psychiatrist just to see if there's anything else that we can help provide just to make sure that everybody's okay.
Nobody trashes your name better than someone who's afraid you'll tell people the truth.
Yeah, he gonna flip. Right, this shit gonna push him over the top.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He might be right. This shit gonna push him over the top.
Yeah.
Sound like a personal issue.
Not our problem.
I mean, hey, if you want to hurt yourself because you
I
can't
just
handle
worry
this,
about him coming around here. That's all I care about. I don't trust him.
everybody who has done me wrong has gotten their karma, if not immediately, in upcoming weeks to months. Everybody gets their karma. I'm not even on the delivery team. I have nothing to do with that shit. Wrong is wrong, right is right. Again, I say, if you start looking around after you realize your life is legitimately going down the shitter and you can't figure out why, look at the fucking company you keep. Look around at your doings. Look at your fucking behavior. Look at your goddamn gallivantics. We really got grown-ass people out here who will sit up here and cry and say, like, why am I going through all of this shit? Why is this all happening? Meanwhile, it's your fucking karma. It's the consequences of your damn stupid-ass actions. Like, why are you so damn surprised? Did you really think there were no consequences for being a fucking liar? Did you really think there was no consequences for trying to ruin people's life? If you had told me that this year was going to go the way that it went, I would have never believed you. Is it anything like what you expected? Like even close?
Like realistically, he predicted about that he was lying about certain things.
Like you meet somebody, the terms are love, and they ruin your entire life. Or they try to, in a matter of months. We were just strangers. A little over a year ago, we were strangers. And now look at us. People are scary.